Member Srimati Supriya Suleji.
Thank you, sir. I stand here to speak on the budget. As Professor Saugata Roy at length talked about the fiscal deficit, the way the economy has contracted, I remember since the last 4 or 5 years continuously, every speech that he makes, which we all eagerly listen to, he's been talking about this government selling the family silver, and consistently, even before the COVID crisis happened, this new word of the V-shaped economy is something new that we have heard in this government. And plus the economy which has contracted is actually been a huge blow, even before. So COVID really added to all the bad policies which were taken by this government. So it's very unfortunate that we are through this challenge. The whole world is going through this challenge. But India is, of course, economically suffering now because of several of these decisions taken by this government. I always try and speak on the subject. But today, with your permission, sir, I'm going to speak a little bit out of the subject because the Honorable Prime Minister talked about our party's leader today. I could have easily got up and heckled him, but from the culture that I come from and the party rules and regulations, we are not allowed to heckle. And NCP never heckles. It's not that heckling is wrong. I'm not getting into the morality of it. But I would like to put some documents and facts on the paper. Here, the Honorable Prime Minister, with high regard, even if he is a member of the BJP, is India's Prime Minister today. And when he says something on the floor of the House, we must all take it very seriously. He's talked about a letter and reflected to a letter of Mr. Pawar. He's written to various state chief ministers at that time when he was the agriculture minister. I won't repeat the words which the Honorable Prime Minister has written, but I would let the 4 lines which the Honorable Prime Minister did not read is what I'm going to read. After the Honorable Prime Minister's where he stopped, it says, I may mention that the Ministry of Agriculture has circulated a draft Model APMC Rules 2007 to all the states for their guidance and adoption as appropriate. Their guidance. So that must be noticed. And I wish to draw your personal attention to this matter to considerable importance of the agriculture sector and well-being of the farmers, and request that suitable direction may be given for the necessary steps without further delays. This is what the original entire letter says. But I would, with full humility, like to bring something to notice because he used the word U-turn. So I would like to just highlight and just take 2 minutes of the U-turns of this government. So GST was brought in by Honorable Manmohan Singh ji. If please, I stand corrected that time the Gujarat Chief Minister had objected to the GST. We brought in the RTI, we brought in the food security, we as in the UPA government, the right to education, Narega, the new corporate law, the company bill, the DTC, the Aadhaar, the land acquisition. All these new bills, I do understand, change is inevitable. We all are for change. We are all. And I come from a state which is for reforms. So we are never against reforms. It's the way they are administered and done is what our objection is to. And while I read out this GST, RTI, food security, RT, Narega, all these when we got, all these were moved by the Honorable Prime Minister then, Sri Manmohan Singh ji, who was absolutely a team player. It went through the standing committee, every stakeholder was invited, feedback was taken, and only then all these laws were made. I would like to talk about a U-turn for this government. Narega, it's on record, and if they would like to place it, I would be happy to get you documents, where the present Honorable Prime Minister has not spoken as well as about he speaks on Narega today. During the COVID time, everybody who lost their jobs in the city went back to their villages, and the only savior there was Narega, and that's how thousands and thousands of families have survived. But this was a U-turn of this government. GST is a U-turn. Aadhaar, I actually do miss him here, is Sri late Anand Kumar ji. He was a friend to all of us, and unfortunately he's no more. But I still remember how strongly that time the BJP had objected. And Yashwant Sinha ji, please, I stand corrected if anybody disagrees with some of my facts, that Aadhaar was rejected by them. And today they are steering Aadhaar, they are praising GST as their program, and they are praising Narega. Now, are these U-turns or left turn, right turn, which turn? I really don't know. So, and the Honorable Prime Minister said intent versus content. Everybody has a good intent. So when they do it, it's intent and content, and when we do it, it's a U-turn. It's a little unfair, especially coming from such a high office. So I would just like to put these things on record, that these things happen, and they are always demeaning institutions. Why do they always need the ordinance route? If they really wanted to bring these laws, why could they not take this? Now, logically speaking, sir, even if they were moved at that time, they were moved as recommendations for a change of the law. Why were the same route not followed? And if this was written to all the chief ministers, how come there was no agitation in 2004, 5, 6, and for all that decade that Mr. Pawar was the agriculture minister? I'm not here to defend. He's very capable of defending himself. But I just need to put the facts on the table since he was mentioned by the Honorable Prime Minister. That's all I wanted to say. And why are you running away from committees? These committees are very good institutions. Good feedback is taken. And I appreciate the Honorable Prime Minister's emotions. Yesterday and today, I'm actually seeing a different man. Leadership is about vulnerability. And he showed he was vulnerable yesterday and today. I wish there was continuity in this. And he showed the same vulnerability. He should open his arms, call the farmers and Mr. Tiket to his house for tea. And why not resolve it? If you can't resolve it that way, call the political leaders. If he feels there are politicians involved, why not call them? If there's a will, there's a way. So if he really wants to work around the farmers, let's stop this conflict, because this entire country and the global situation is not helping any of us with any aberration like this, especially the farmer, I think, who feeds us. So I think I want to put this on the table, and now I will come back on another U-turn. Since Dayanidhi Maran extensively talked about the vaccine, I would like to put that U-turn. It just occurred to me. The U-turn was the Honorable Nirmala Sitharaman ji. If I stand corrected, she went to Bihar for the manifesto of the BJP. And she promised at that they would give free vaccination in Bihar. I'm sure the vaccination has started. I'll be very happy if I get the details about the free vaccination that the government is doing in Bihar in her reply. It will be much appreciated, because if you are doing it in Bihar, why not in Maharashtra? We also need it, and I'm so happy. So if there must be some subsidy going there, no? So is your government doing it? You all have started. Are you putting this on the record that you all have started free? Yeah, so are you doing it because you're a part of the government, if I understand right? So are you, no, your minister is saying he's doing it, so please put it on record if he's sure. Mr. Reddy is confirming that is, so if you're doing it, I'll be very happy if you can share. It's your government, no? It's your allies, you all are forming the government.
Please.
Maharashtra government be happy to do it if you give us money, I'll tell you why. And if you're going to give us money, I'll tell you how we can do it. In a minute, I'll give you the solution. Since you're the finance minister, you understand finance better than me.
Please continue.
So I will definitely bring that to your notice. Now there are 2 points I need to bring to the notice of this government. You are talking about the GST compensation. Now if you give us, the Honorable Finance Minister is there, and GST compensation that you owe us is, please understand the figure, so it's 26,597 crores. So 26,597 crores is what the government owes to us. So now if you give us that money, we'll be happy to give the free vaccine. So if you give us this money, all our social sector programs are stuck because this compensation hasn't come. But I do like to give one thing to your notice, which is the difference between the finance minister, not you, the finance minister of cabinet, vis-a-vis our finance minister of Maharashtra. There's one huge contrast in this, that this finance minister of India has taken 12 crores from every MP without even asking us. It was, they just took it away from us. And today, everybody who asks us, भैया हमारा MP लैड चाहिए, वो तो मोदी जी ले गए MP लैड्स, कहाँ से दे, 2.5 साल के लिए तो कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे हम. And exactly opposite in the state, no MLA from all the 4 parties. This is the difference between Finance Minister of India and Finance Minister of Maharashtra. Finance Minister of Maharashtra has made sure every MLA, including from the opposition, gets 5 crores every year. No cut. 2 bhi diya, uske upar se 3 crore bhi diya. So they are giving 5. So obviously they are doing something right, considering GST is not coming, but they are managing something well. So I think maybe you all should pick a leaf from the Finance Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Ajit Pawar. I think he can guide you all run the ministry a little better. I mean, it's always good to take good ideas from people. The other thing is the FRBM Act. Now, the FRBM Act is something of really concern for us because you have to very urgently bring this act because we cannot borrow. Central government is borrowing money, as Saugata Roy ji always said, they have family silver to be sold. States don't have so much family silver to sell. And that's not a model we really want to work on. We want a prosperous state. So what is the line of this government? Because we cannot borrow money. Our states will be bankrupt. First of all, they don't give us money of which we deserve, which is our GST money. And the FRBM Act, what are you doing about that? And one absolute pointed clarification I want to ask, that according to the Finance Commission, it's 42% is what is given to us, right? Now, 41 will be given to us now. So from 42, we are come down. Now, my question to you is, because I came across it in some of my reading, because I'm not a finance expert. I can even table it if you ask me which it is, because I think BJP people like that. Table it. I'm happy to where I got this information from. It's from a newspaper. And they had analyzed the entire budget and they said the defense budget is included. So does that mean the states are going to pay also for the defense? Then we will come down to 30 or 35%. So if you could kindly clarify. I'm not a finance expert, so maybe you could clarify to us. So you will not give us our GST money. This FRBM Act, so we cannot borrow and we have to pay for the defense of this country, then what are the states left to it? And this is what you talk about cooperative federalism. Is this where we really stand? Is this how the states are going to work? Or is there a Raja game plan where the states will be so weak that they'll be completely dependent on you? So I really don't know what this government is thinking about. Want to say something? So I really need to know what it is. Another U-turn of this government is the PMC bank issue. Now the PMC bank issue, you got a Banking Regulation Act. And I remember, I quote the Honorable Finance Minister, she promised me on the floor of this house that she will help the PMC bank, and that's why she has got this regulation, just to help PMC banks. Nothing has happened about it. They've got two banks which they are helping, but PMC bank, which is very unfair. These are poor people struggling. This is their own hard-earned money, and this government is doing nothing, and I'm putting it on the record that they had got this change in this law, but they've done nothing for it. So this is another U-turn for them. About non-performing assets, jobs, every time, which I think Arvind Sawantji extensively talked about. IBC, what have you achieved by it? Even in my speech that time I had said, liquidation is not the solution, resolution. Let's try and make them run better. Get professional help and run them effectively. So this is another thing which I need a clarification, because according to the minister's reply in Lok Sabha, it says 55% of the money is not recovered and given as a haircut to NPA banks. How much money through this has got? It's lost. So I don't know why are you going constantly by this liquidation route. Mudra loans. Now Mudra loans, there is so much mixed reaction. So I really don't know what the truth this government is saying. They were for 1920, 2021, there's no data available. Whatever questions were asked were only up to 19. So why is no data coming after that? Non-utilization of cess revenue, another way to ill-treat the states. You collect all the cess, nothing comes to us. Now there's a new agriculture cess. That also won't come to us. So, and the CAG has not flattered this government at all about the cess that is collected. Lakhs, let me give you the exact number. It's a question to Anurag Thakurji by Ms. Ramya Haridas, in which he has said that the entire cess is not even spent. And the CAG report says that whatever monies have come, according to the CAG, more than just 2 minutes, last 2 minutes.
Please come.
More than rupees 2.18 lakh crores collected by central government as cess for specific purposes as education, sanitation, infrastructure has either not fully been transferred to the dedicated fund or remains unutilized. This is what the CAG is saying. So I think you owe it to the states. You don't even give it to the states. You also don't use it. So where is the money going? There is absolutely, you talk about transparency, and the Honorable Prime Minister talked about it. Talking about health, or you talked about health. Yesterday, Prakash Zavadekar ji, I think Tejasvi Surya is in the house. It was his question that he asked. And Honorable Prakash Zavadekar ji answered, and he said, oh, it's a continuous process. Monies will keep coming. There's nothing in the budget. And he said 600 crores is more than enough for students' education, online education. How much money really went, even to JNK? There was no 4G available, so how did the kids study? So 600 crores is clearly not enough. I think all of us are aware that this online education, and in your government's new education policy emphasizes on doubling the government's expenditure for education. You have reduced it, you haven't doubled it. So whether it goes about healthcare, I won't take too much time and repeat any of my points, be it nutrition. One last point I will want to bring to the notice of this government, which also my colleague Krishna brought to my notice. He says the NBFCs, there are online organizations which reach out to you to give loans. This is a real serious issue. It's not really only about the budget. And there is something called cashbean.in which pop up on your mobile phone and you can get a loan. That time they don't tell you what the loan is and then they harass you, and now there is no regulation for this NBFC. So what is this government going to do about this? And these pop-ups are going to come, repayments, and they have the company size. I am not concerned about what the name of the company. There may be many companies. It's not a personal thing at all. But doesn't the RBI regulate this? And the company size has become 1,300 crores in 1 year. It's unheard of. I don't see anybody growing at this rate except the pharmaceuticals in the last 1 year. So I request the Honorable Finance Minister to look into these NBFCs which are coming. Sir, it's a challenging year, I do understand. And I do understand the Finance Minister has had his own challenges with COVID. They are trying to make it as positive and happy as it is, but the situation on the ground is exceptionally grim. Be it the farmers' issue, be the unemployment. I urge this government to get its act together, put in the right policies in place, take all political parties in confidence, and I'm sure we can lead this nation to being one of the most robust growth nations in this country, in the world. Thank you.
ABP माझा उघडा डोळे बघा